To session number 3 of the media today. Please silence your cell phones for those of you that are joining us. Raise your hand if you've got a question and we will bring you the mic. Please state your name and affiliation. The South Carolina locker room is now open for the next 30 minutes. We'll begin with an opening statement from Coach, followed by questions for the student athletes, and finally questions for Coach. So with that being said, we're joined by head coach Dawn Staley, student athletes Elena Coates and Tiffany Mitchell. Coach, an opening statement, please.
We're just excited to get the NCAA tournament started. We are real thrilled that we're able to host, and surely I know our fans are excited that we get to host the first and second round. So, hopefully they will be some factors in us surviving and advancing, especially on Friday.
Questions for the student athletes up front?
Elena, you played very strong defense along with the rest of the team in Jacksonville. Did you feel like maybe you were snubbed from the all-tournament team, and how do you feel your defense is going to be going forward in this tournament?
I feel like whether I made the team or not, I just got to keep doing what I do. Defense is something that I pride myself on nowadays, and that's just something that I know I'm going to have to bring to the tournament, with any post players, no matter what size, what they can do.
Question in the middle.
Tiffany, does this feel any different than maybe the last few years? How have you guys learned to kind of take the excitement that comes with the NCAA tournament and channel it into the one game at a time approach?
With me, it kind of feels different just because I know this is my last one going into this tournament. I know there's never going to be another NCAA tournament for me, so it's kind of different for me. But I'm just kind of taking it each day and just kind of enjoy each moment.
Tiffany, you and Khadijah Cope, you guys have known each other for a long time. Do you remember her being the prolific scorer she was in high school, and how different a player is she now?
In high school, I kind of remember her more in AAU. I feel like she scored a lot in AAU more than high school. We played her team in high school, but I don't think she was playing. But, her roles definitely changed from when she was in high school till now. I think I just credit her to take that head on and just, do what we need her to do.
Up front.
Elena and Tiffany, in Jacksonville, the last 2 games, it's just seemed like those were probably the best 2 games of the season. How do you keep that energy and that intensity through these next 4 or 5 or 6?
We talked about playing good basketball all year, and now we have something to kind of base that off of. We know what good basketball looks like because we've done it. So now we just need to channel all of that energy into this tournament.
I agree.
Right question on the left side, coming around.
Talking stick.
Now that I have the talking stick,
Yep.
Just staying with what he just said, how important is it to just get out there and play? It's been a while. How excited are y'all just to get back on the court?
It's going to be fun. I think the team does a great job of staying in the moment. We're not going to look too far ahead, and we're just going to take each game at a time and just enjoy, these last couple games with each other.
For Elena and Tiffany, do you think your crowd here can intimidate teams, especially teams that haven't played in an atmosphere like this before?
I definitely think so. They come out in huge numbers, and, they're loud when we're up, we're loud when we're down. I just feel like that's something that's intimidating for anybody to have to go through, especially if it's not something that somebody's used to. I had to get used to it when I first came in, so I know for, teams that don't have that many fans at their games, that would definitely be like an intimidation factor.
For both Tiffany and Elena, you guys have just established such a high standard for the program. What would make for a successful season this year? Do you have to get to the Final Four? Do you have to get to the championship game? Do you have to win it all? Can you have a successful season without getting to the Final Four?
I feel like it'll be a kind of a letdown if we don't try to get to our ultimate goal. We set goals for ourselves at the beginning of the season, and if we don't reach those goals, it kind of feel like our job's incomplete. So that's our goal right now, and just to take each game at one time and try to get to that goal.
I agree with Tiffany.
Question in the back on TV.
Tiffany, how much pressure is on you, especially coming away from last year? You know, the team kind of rode you to the Final Four. You know, you bailed them out a few times. How much pressure is on you going into this NCAA tournament? What kind of tournament do you have to have for this team to be successful?
I mean, I don't think there's too much pressure on me. The team does a great job, playing off of me, playing when I'm playing well, when I'm not playing well. The team does a great job of just staying with me, up or down. So I don't think there's too much pressure on me because we have a great team, and there's really other players that could take over the game at any other time.
Question up front.
She added a friend to help her
Correct.
ward off some of that pressure.
Eli's here
So Eli is to the rescue.
to the rescue, always.
Elena, just looking a little bit ahead, K-State, George Washington each have some very tall girls in the post as well, 6'6", 6'5". How much of a challenge do you think those would be for you and Asia going up against them?
I mean, I don't feel like it'll be that much of a challenge. I mean, throughout the SEC season, we've gone against 6'5" to 6'7". So, I mean, just from those experiences, we know how to play those type of players. So, we're just gonna continue what we do.
Question in the back on camera.
For Elena, kind of feeding off of that, is there a team you think in this tournament that really can match what you guys can do inside with the type of height and size advantage you guys bring into most games?
Well, personally, for me, I think that we have the best high-low duo and post player passing in the nation. So, I mean, yeah, that pretty much speaks for itself. I think that we got it.
Any more questions for the student athletes
Or Eli.
or Eli? Rick,
Yeah,
on
one
left
for
side.
Yeah, here's one for Eli.
Eli? All right, bet.
How nervous is Eli for his first NCAA tournament?
Eli's actually really hyped. I can't get him to sit down in the hotel, so.
Thank you, ladies.
Bye. Oh, you want me to? I've been told to switch it, right?
Questions for Coach Staley. We'll start up front.
Dawn, how have you seen Elena's game just blossom in these past 3 years, specifically on defense? It seemed like it really took a step up this season.
Well, I think once you hit that junior year, things seem to come together for you, and you take on a role of a sacrificial role, especially when Elena needs to step up on both sides of the ball. She comes through for us time and time again. She's not the player that she was a year or two ago, where if she doesn't get the ball, she goes into this, she gets mad and, she shuts down. But now she's at a place where, she's going to make it happen through her play from a defensive standpoint or just rebounding the basketball. She knows she's playing with some great players that, that can do a lot of special things with the ball. But we know the route to getting winning, first round and all the way up through, our last game, she has to have an impact on the game on both sides of the ball. So she understands that. And we understand that as well.
Question in the middle.
Dawn, your relationship with Yolette, how did that come about, and how have you guys kind of maintained touch through all the, destinations everybody goes to in college basketball?
Well, I've known Yolette since she was a student athlete at Rhode Island, and I was coaching at Temple University. And just through, I've watched her grow up in this profession. From being a junior college coach to being assistant coach on the Division I level to being a head coach. And, she is one that, if she wants you to be her mentor, without you saying yes or no, you're going to be her mentor because she's pretty persistent, You know, she calls, she text messages, she runs things by me, and she values my opinion. And I just like, she's a go-getter. I like her style. I like what she's about. She is definitely one that is an up-and-coming coach in our profession, and she's done it the right way, the hard way. You know, a lot of the road to where I am today, you know, is a road in which it's very unlikely to young coaches. She took the right road, which is, you know, I mean, to be a junior college coach, you have to do it all. I mean, every single thing from laundry, you know, to being a strength and conditioning coach. You got to wear a lot of hats, and she's done that. So her foundations is at a place where you can tell she only loves basketball.
On camera in the back.
Dawn, of course, you've talked about the ultimate goal was winning a championship. The secondary goal was making the Final Four, maybe making that championship game. Now that you guys have been there before, how important is that here in this year 2 going forward, that you've already made a Final Four?
I think it's extremely important. I think familiarity is it's a great thing when it comes to NCAA play. You know, all the teams that have been national champions, there are very few one-hit wonders. You know, they've made their mark by creating a familiar environment for themselves and getting deep into postseason play. And I don't think we're any different. I think we come into this tournament for the 4th year, I believe. Fifth year? Was it really? 5th year. Okay, so our 5th year, just knowing what to expect. And, you know, that's why you see our players, they're focused in on the task at hand. Yes, we want to get back to the Final Four, and yes, we want to win a national championship, but there are steps before that we don't want to overlook.
Question up front here.
Kind of the same line as looking back. Have you given yourself a chance to kind of reflect that, you know, one of 10 wins your first year was Jacksonville, and now you're hosting them in the first year of the NCAA tournament. Have you taken a step back and looked at that?
You know, 8 years ago, winning only 10 games, that's what fuels us as coaching and our coaching staff. We know what that feels like, and we don't want to ever feel that again. But that is the thing that keeps us going and keeps us motivated to sustaining what we've built in year 8.
Question on the right side.
Dawn, how did Khadijah go from a player who scored 30 points a game in high school to a defensive first point guard in college? I mean, what was that transition like, and how difficult maybe was it for her at times?
I think it was very difficult. I think she's at a very good place. I think for the longest she fought, you know, wanting to play an integral role, a bigger role, a different role for our basketball team. And if she could have picked up on these things like she has, you know, now, she could have had that role for us. But when you fight, you know, one role over another role, it stifles your growth. Now she's just she sees it all. She sees where she can pick and choose her opportunities to be aggressive with the ball in her hand. But that's what she wanted to do all the time. And if she's done that all the time, her other areas wouldn't have developed the way they need to develop. And she's it's hard, though. It's extremely hard. I almost equate it to me being in college. I used to be a scorer, just score. But in order for me to become have become an Olympic point guard, you know, you lose some of that to gain other, you know, valuable assets that you need to be an Olympic point guard. And, you know, I just took her through those steps because I wasn't going to be a first, second, third, or fourth option once you're on the Olympic team. And, you know, the type of talent that is surrounded by Khadijah is much like an Olympic team. So you have to kind of sacrifice and, you know, almost be that utility player.
Question in the center.
Dawn, I wanted to ask another one about Yolette. You're Dawn Staley. You probably get people coming up to you all the time, wanting to pick your brain, wanting to say this and that. What made her different? And was there ever a time when maybe you said, "Listen, you gotta calm down with some of these emails or calls or whatever"?
She's very persistent. She won't take no for an answer. She does ask me to do a lot of things. I felt bad. I turned her down in Jacksonville. She wanted me to get up at 6:30 a.m. and come talk to her team, and I knew it was going to be a late night for me because she actually texted me around midnight, and I was still going through what our game plan was, and I knew I'm going to be up probably for a few more hours, and I know 6:30 was going to come, pretty early. So I said, no, I'm going to have to, I have to not, accept your offer. And she was understanding about that. But that's how persistent she is. She wants the very best and give her players, an experience like no other. But I've talked on the phone to her teams. I've spoken with her teams, in person. And it's all about, and I'm glad I didn't talk to her team. I'm glad that she saw that, what she was doing was the right thing, and she ended up winning the conference championship.
Question up front.
Don, what was the biggest change, especially on defense in Jacksonville those last two games? Was it a tweak, or was it really just you guys felt like you had a chip on your shoulder and you wanted to play hard?
It was the chip. It was a chip. I don't think we put anything any differently. I think what our players did was they just put energy behind what they were doing. And, obviously it was, hearing about us being the underdogs. So, and, we play that role extremely well. And I think we're going to continue to play that role because I don't think, from a analyst standpoint, if you listen to the voices of our game, we're not one of the teams that they think can beat UConn. So obviously we'll plant that seed in our players' heads as we head into, this NCAA tournament. But I believe we have enough on our roster to get it done. And we're starting to play our best basketball now, and this is the perfect time.
Don, how important are the contributions that you get from Asia Dozier, especially maybe when it comes to communicating with her teammates about what's going on out on the floor and relaying information to you and your coaches?
Asia Dozier is a true asset to our team. What she brings is, invaluable, an invaluable gift. Not all players have it, but all teams need it. She's one that sees the big picture, and she's able to explain it to her peers in a way very much like a mature coach who's been around the game a long time. And I know she's been around it. Her dad's a coach. Her mom's been around it. Her brother plays high level Division I basketball. So to be around that much basketball and the way she's picked it up is is incredible. She's gonna make a great coach in the near future.
In the back on camera.
Don, what kind of tournament does Tiffany Mitchell have to have for this team to be successful? And do you think that she feels any of the pressure, even though publicly she won't say she does?
I think Tiffany is a player that you need in a tournament. I think she kind of flew under the radar a little bit during the regular season, but when it becomes tournament time, she's got to play big for us. We don't win the SEC tournament championship without her being Tiffany Mitchell. We've grown accustomed to her being that, and she doesn't shy away from the pressure or the spotlight to performing in that light. So she has to play, and she has to play well in order for us to win.
Any last questions for Coach Staley? Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
South Carolina locker room is open until 2:35. The first 15 minutes of practice for South Carolina is open to the media, but only the first 15 minutes. Jacksonville's press conference.